Season 10 of the AFLW has arrived. 18 teams start equal. Who will get it done in 2025? Will the Roos go back-to-back? Will the Lions come back for revenge? Will the Crows have a say on the big stage? Or will a few teams have their moment to shine? Like the Saints, who haven't yet made finals before, but the recruitments of Baskaran, Clark and Barr will have something to say. Oh, and of course, the return of the team's best player and star midfielder in Georgia Patrikios. Remember the name, Georgia Patrikios. Will the Pies rise up after drafting the biggest name from the draft in the number 1 draft pick, the young superstar in Ash Centra? Melbourne, is it finally their year to go back to the top where they feel they belong? McNamara flying, Kate Hoare flying, Molly O'Hare arriving. Will the D's go flying in 2025? Or will the Dockers and their returning duo of Kiara Bowers and Ange Stannett have something to say?
Is it Tiger time, led by the best player in the competition in Mon Conti and the player with the booming left foot kick in Ali McKenzie, Ali Dalloway, skipper Katie Brennan? Is it finally Tiger time?
Finally. Don't write off the Eagles. Got the best key defender in the game in Charlie Thomas and the most versatile player in the game and a young superstar in Ella Roberts. With booming young draftees like Lucia Painter, will the Eagles be painting their names as the Premier in 2025? Strap yourselves in. This season is going to be something special. I'm excited. Are you? Let's go!
The Roos are the 2024 AFLW Premiers. They win by 30 points. Last year, they had the heartbreak. This year, they get the retribution. The Roos have done it by 30 points. Last year, heartbreak, as I said, turned to retribution. Priest. Priest. Hold it in. Go Molly. Game 50. Go Molly. Yes, Molly. Great goal from the 50 gamer in Molly McDonald. Safety there second. Well done, Molly. Centra. Centra. Here we go. The number 1 draft pick for the great contestant Marco Centra on debut. The number 1 draft pick has Centra on debut. Great mark. And a great goal from the number 1 draft pick, Ash Centra, and they'll get around to a big moment for the number 1 draft pick. Well done to Ash Centra. Hello everyone and welcome to the Scoops AFLW show. I'm your host Scoops, the sole admin of Scoops, and what a round of AFLW footy it was to kickstart season 10 for season 2025. Wow. The Saints have done it again. The Saints have upset a ladder contender, a premiership contender in the Crows. The Saints dethroned the Crows at Moorabbin by 20-odd points. It was so amazing. Bazanko on debut kicking 2 was really good and impactful. Amber Clark and Charlotte Baskaran shown why they are former top 10 draft picks and why Essendon and Hawthorn were foolish for letting them both go. They're both superstars, great people, and they kicked some great goals. Well, Amber got a goal and it was good, and Charlotte was fantastic off the wing. So, what a round for the Saints. T. Smith, Patrikios back, 26 disposals, missed a whole year and got 26 on return in the midfield. Serene Watson got 21 touches. The whole team was flying, and it was so good to see. But other club debutants and AFLW debutant and Kyla Forbes, who had a solid game as well. Paige Trojan was really good in the backline of 15-1%. The Saints are flying. Naz is signing. The Saints are on fire right now. The Saints in the AFLW are 1-0 and sit in the top 4 after one round. Yes, I know, one round. It could quickly change, and yes, it could potentially change. But I had the Saints in my ladder prediction, as you saw last week, in the top 8. And we've just beaten a premiership contender in the Crows. Geelong done all right for 3 quarters against North Melbourne. The rain came, and it was pouring rain, and it was pouring goals for the Roos. 5 goals to 1 in the last quarter, and the Roos got it done when it matters most. That's another game I went to. I went to Carlton Collingwood. We saw the debut of Ash Centra, who is the future of the AFLW competition, is Ash Centra. People are all saying it now this week. I've been saying this for a while. Loz Young and Ash Centra, injury-free, are the future of this competition, along with Ella Roberts, Mon Conti, Ebony Marinoff, Ash Riddell. So many good players in the AFLW. I mean, just look at the talent that was on show in the draft this year that played in round 1. Zippy Fish, 26 disposal of halfback on debut, was amazing. Lucia Painter kicking 3 goals, and he's the rising star for this round. So well done, Lucia Painter. Well deserved. Lou, it was well deserved. 3 goals, like 14 touches, 6 marks. Played mainly up forward. She's a superstar, Lucia Painter. Molly O'Hare had some good signs for Melbourne. Zoe Bazanko kicked 2 goals as well. She was really impactful as well when she got near the ball and kicked 2 goals, as I said. A lot of top talent was playing on the weekend from the most recent draft, which shows how strong that draft truly was. Sarah Pousey was solid for the Bulldogs. Emma McDonald took a nice mark or 2 in that game. So the talent's on show in the AFLW from the most recent draft. And, it's absolutely flying right now. It's great to see. We had some big margins. We had some close games as well. Mainly big margins, but if you look at the game properly, some teams are in it from start to basically the end. Like Geelong were in it for 3 quarters, for example, against North. Brisbane Hawthorn was very close, and Hawthorn won that. Don't get too worried about that, Brisbane fans. Should be back up there still. Devastating news for Elise Parker, who had 15 disposals for the Giants in the first half against Essendon. Their team was terrible, but she was great. And unfortunately, she's out for the rest of the year for an ankle injury. And will be out for 3 months. So that's just shocking news. She's going to have surgery on Thursday. I just saw the article mentioned. So Elise Parker, all the best. She's one of their best players, if not their second best player, I reckon. You could argue their best as well, and you'd be fair enough to argue that. I think Zali's their best player, but Elise Parker is a great player, and she's a leader in that midfield and should be sorely missed. So we wish her all the best. How good was Mon Conti again? Do we expect anything less from Mon? She's fantastic. She's a ripper. 32 disposals. A game that, I reckon flew under the radar a little bit was Ella Roberts. Oh my God. 2 goals, 24 disposals, like 8 tackles. She's a superstar already. I've been saying this for a while. She's very humble. When I spoke to her last year on the matchday vlog for that game, very humble. Speaking to people at West Coast, like in general, people that go for West Coast or in the AFLW, they know how good Ella Roberts is and how good she really, really is right now and will be for the future of this competition. You think of people that will be on the poster of the competition for the future years. Ella Roberts is front and center on that poster with Ash Centra and Loz Young and Mon Conti as well, of course. But yeah, it was a good round. Great to go to 3 games. Went to the North game, went to the Saints game, obviously, and the Carlton Collingwood game, which was the opener at Icon Park. Now, on the show this evening, I'm going to go through Scoops Goes Bang, my team of the week, my AFLW fantasy score. You can still join my fantasy league. It's most points overall for the year, so you can still join. You won't be starting from scratch. It'll be whatever you got in the first round, et cetera, et cetera. So get onto it now. The code is on the screen. The code is on the screen, but the people listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, 1UGIZ3ME, and we'll get it sorted for you all. Now, team of the week, I'm going to go through soon. I'm going to go through my AFLW Fantasy team and score. I'll reveal my team to you all this evening or this morning, whenever you're watching it. I'm going to review the weekend's games and preview round 2 and check out all of my match day vlogs that I've posted on the channel. My Saints-Crows match day vlog, and my Saints-Crows match day vlog, Geelong North and Carlton Collingwood, and every podcast and video that I have. Please and thank you. Now, if you know any AFLW players and you want to see them on the channel in a goal kicking challenge and or interview, please do send me a message or try and get something sorted. Happy to have anyone on, whether they're from Adelaide to the Bulldogs in alphabetical order, whether you're the best player in the competition or another good player. I don't care what team you play for. I'd love to have you on the channel in a goal kicking challenge and or interview, or both. Both would be great, but one or the other is fine. But both would be awesome. But yeah, I'm going to throw this out there, just in the atmosphere, in the universe. Now, I've competed against some of the best top 10 draft picks in the entirety of the AFLW competition. Amber Clark, Alicia Pisano, Elaine Grigg, and I think that may be in goal kicking challenges anyway. And between Amber, Liz Pisano, and Elaine Grigg, I think my record is I'm just trying to count it up. Yeah. 5-1. That's right, 5-1. 5-1 against top 10 draft picks. I beat Amber Clark. I beat Griggy twice. I beat Liz Pisano twice, but she also beat me once. So, yeah, it's an interesting way it goes, but 5-1 against top 10 draft picks. So, got a great win-loss ratio. And I also beat Ailey Sheeran, who is a 2-time All-Australian as well. If you want to mention her into that conversation, I'm 6-1. So, if you want to compete against the best, feel free to message me on Instagram, AFLW Live. Love to sort out a goal kicking challenge with anyone. You don't have to be a top 10 draft pick or a top player in the competition. Anyone is greatly appreciated. Appreciate all the ongoing support from some of the players and fans of the competition who send me messages every week or here and there. Really do appreciate it. It means a lot. You know, it truly means a lot for all the positive comments and feedbacks that I do get. You know, I just really appreciate it. All right, now it's time for that world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Boom. You know, I travel to the game. I get there. I watch the game. And it's done. Just like that. Is it just me? Or does the game feel like it's gotten shorter? Quarters were hanging around that 20-minute mark, 22-minute mark. This year, I reckon I've lucky to seen one quarter go over 20 minutes that I was at. Only one quarter of the 12 that I went to went over 20 minutes. And that was because there was a few blood rules and stoppage time because of injuries and all that. But some quarters have went 17 minutes, 17 to 18 minute range. I'm like, come on. That's too quick. It's taken me longer to travel to games than the game itself. It just feels so quick. We want more. Put it back to 20 minutes or put it to 20 minutes and time on. So like the men's where it could go 25-minute quarters, 30-minute quarters. That'd be awesome. It just feels too quick. And I thought that the clock has to stop in the last 5 minutes of each quarter. I was checking the AFLW app during the game to try and test this theory out with the clock on the big screen and the countdown clock on the phone. And the clock wasn't stopping all the time in the last 5 minutes. Like, I don't get it. It's really, really annoying. Just so frustrating. I want the game to go longer. People that I've been to the games with this week, or people that I know that were there, and just people that I don't personally know that know who I am, or just people in general, just random people, they want the game to go longer. It feels so quick. I mean, as I said, the travel is more than the game itself, time length. And it should be longer. It'd be great if the quarters just go over 20 minutes, please, and thank you. Feel so rushed. But that's just something I wanted to bring up, and it's really annoying. And don't get me started on the public transport in Melbourne in particular, and bus replacements in Geelong, and all those things that happen on bus replacements and public transport. Train cancellations without even telling you they're cancelled. Like, don't get me started. But there we are. To the people in charge, please lift your game. Hope you all enjoyed that edition of the world famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Right. Now it's time to go through my Scoops AFLW round 1 team of the week. Alrighty. From the back line, the pockets, Elizabeth, Georgia Stathis, and Shelley Heath. Full back, Serene Watson. How many times will Watto get in this year? Half back line, the flankers, Zippy Fish, zipping her way into the team, and Tilly Lucas Rod. Centre half back, Paige Trudgeon. 15 1%ers. Wingers, Charlotte Basker, and what a debut for Charlotte for the Saints against the Crows. Other winger, Eliza McNamara. Gee, she is so good. I told you all she'd be so good this year. Most improved player. Centre woman, Ella Roberts, superstar. Not just a young superstar, a top 3 player in the competition. If you check my power ranking videos, which I put out very recently. Sorry, post, not video. My top 30. Go and check it out if you haven't already. It's on Instagram and Facebook. I'll just get to that shortly. Halfback line, the flankers, Amber Clark. Great debut as well. And Mimi Hill, a superstar for Carlton. Centre half forward, Kate Hall, who had a great game for the Demons. Forward pockets, Lucia Painter and Chloe Malloy. Full forward, Kate Sheelaw. Ruck, Imogen Barnett. Rovers, Mon Conti and Liv Purcell. Interchange, Tyler Hanks, Hayley Miller, Eliza West, Michaela Bowen and T. Smith. Emergency, Savannah Harris, Kiara Bowers, Emma O'Driscoll, Ebony Marinoff, Britt Benici, and Maggie Mahoney. Now, reasons for these selections. Let me get the banner up first, shall we? Before we do that. Now, my top 30 list is out. I had number 1, the person to your right on the screen, Mon Conti. Number 2, I had Ebony Marinoff. And number 3, the left to your screen, and on the poster, Ella Roberts. Had some other players in the top 30 clearly. I had a list of about 10 that were unlucky to not make the 10, to make the 30 from that 10. That's on my Insta and Facebook post, so go and check it out if you want to see it in full detail and everything like that. But yeah, reasons for these selections. Well, Georgia Stathis was really good for the Bulldogs in their big loss to Melbourne, which is no surprise, to be honest. Let's be honest. She was great, though, Georgia Stathis, with 19 disposals off the halfback line. Had a good impact, and if she wasn't playing, their Bulldogs team would have lost by even more. Serene Watson was really good for the Saints, 21 disposals. It's ultra reliable. Was in the team of the week, I reckon, maybe 8 times last year in 12 rounds, or 11 rounds technically. So let's see if that streak can continue for Watto. Shelley Heath was amazing for Melbourne. She had about 22 disposals, really good off the half-back line, can play up wing, kicked a goal as well. Her first goal in over a year. Mainly used to play as a winger. Last year transitioned to the back line after starting as a winger. And this year it looks like going to play permanent half-back. Zippy Fish, if it wasn't for Lucia Painter's amazing efforts, kicking 3 and 14, who's also in this team, who was simply amazing in this year's Rising Star, Zippy Fish would have won the Rising Star nominee for the round. Now, when Lucia Painter kicked 3 and had 14 and 6 marks and 8 tackles or something, I'm like, yep, lock it in. It's Lucia Painter and no one's going to come close. Well, gee, Zippy Fish said hello and said, I'm going to zip my way into being a contender for the Rising Star this round. But Zippy will get it soon enough anyway. But Lucia Painter was terrific. Zippy Fish, 26 disposals, like 8 rebound 50s. In her debut, the talent out of WA last year, Molly O'Hare and Zippy Fish in particular, was just so strong in that draft, as I mentioned, and 2 of them are here in the team of the week already. Just shows how damn good they are. And there's some others that just missed out as well. Paige Trojan had 15 1%ers for the Saints, a key defender, had 12 disposals as well and did really well. Tilly Lucas-Rod off the half-back line had 27 disposals. She's played in the half-back line in the past, been an All-Australian in the past, played midfield last year, now looks like to play a bit of both this year. And played really well in the back line for the Hawks in their close win over the Lions in Brisbane. Sung the praises of Charlotte Bascaran earlier a little bit, but, it isn't that easy to go into a new side, play on the wing, which is a hard position to play. In some games, you could be just out there and the ball's not going your way at all. But St Kilda used the wings well. St Kilda used the wings well on the weekend, and Charlotte just dominated. 19 disposals, like 4 tackles. Had a few chances to score. Some teammates did not handle it out to her or kick it out to her, and she could have kicked a goal or two. But she was terrific. Charlotte Bascaran. What a statement to make in your first game for your new club. And hopefully Hawthorn are regretting that move because Charlotte's killing it already. As I expected, superstar, former top 10 pick as well. Eliza McNamara, speaking of superstars already, most improved player for me this year was my prediction, was Eliza McNamara. 24 disposals on the weekend, like 6 to 8 tackles. Just awesome. Lizzie G, they call Elizabeth George the status down at the Bulldogs. Well, I don't know if Melbourne do for certain, but Lizzie M, Eliza McNamara, was absolutely killing it. Ella Roberts, amazing. 2 goals, 24 disposals, like 8 tackles, like 7 score involvements. She was awesome, Ella Roberts. On the poster for a reason, because she's on the poster of the entire competition. Ella Roberts is that damn good. She's just that damn good. It's as simple as that. Amber Clark was amazing in her Saints debut, the former Bomber, a former top 10 pick as well. Had about 15 disposals, played mainly as a forward, but her pressure was through the roof. Tapping the ball out to her teammates or bumping the player or tackling. Had some bursts in the midfield, and I think it works. That split of forward mid for Amber works really well. And I feel like Essendon didn't capitalise on that with Amber's strengths. They played her mainly as a small forward. They didn't really have her up the ground at Essendon, and she's up the ground here at the Saints, and she's been awesome in the practice matches and was simply amazing yesterday. Is in contention for the votes, but you won't know who gets votes in any of the games, as my Scoops medal will be at the end of the year after round 12 before the finals start. It's like every year after the home and away season, my Scoops AFLW medal will begin again, which I can't wait to show you all that. Hopefully we can have some players on that episode as well. Kate Hall was really good for the Demons. 2 goals, 14 disposals, played mainly up forward. In fact, all the game forward as she's coming back from an injury where she missed some practice matches. But Kate Hall is a great player. Kate just does what Kate does. An amazing player, a ripper captain, ripping person, and absolutely killed on the weekend and gave the Bulldogs backline a bath. Mimi Hill was awesome for Carlton. Now, 32 disposals, like 10 clearances. You could say, why is she not named on the field? But I just had to put her there because Ella Roberts, Mon Conti, and Liv Purcell were just out of this world, and so was Mim Hill. But unfortunately, I can't put everyone in that position. But she was awesome. Lucia Painter already mentioned what she did. 3 goals and 14 was amazing. Kate Sheelaw, kick 2, was really dominant for the Roos. When it was getting hard for the Roos a little bit, Kate was just being the calm head that just was simply amazing. Speaking of some Geelong people, Kate Sheelaw was giving their side a bit of trouble. And, I thought she was amazing, Kate Sheelaw, in contention for votes as well. Chloe Malloy, ACL last year, first game back, kicking 4 and 14. Seems to be no troubles for Chloe Malloy right now, kicking 4 and 14 on return from an ACL injury. She silenced the critics. I saw, an Insta story she put out last night, I think it was, or yesterday sometime. Some idiot tried ripping into her about her knee injury. And that was absolutely stuffed up. We're standing by you, Chloe, and you had a great game, and don't listen to that loser on a fake account. Typical keyboard warriors, but well done, Chloe. Now, Imogen Barnett, if you looked at her stats, you probably go, gee, team of the week, ruck? I'll go, absolutely. 4 contested marks, 12 disposals, her impact around the ground. Every time Collingwood tried getting it going forward, it was Britt Bonici and Imogen Barnett. They were the 2 standouts for the Pies. She was awesome. And I feel like she beat her opponents in Jess Good and Bree Hetherington. So, the hit-outs numbers don't show that, but if you watch the game properly and you were there, you would know what I'm talking about. Mon Conti, 32 disposals. Mon does what Mon does. The best player in the competition for a reason. This ain't changing anytime soon. Superstar. She'll probably tell you it wasn't her best game, and she still had 32 disposals and 8 clearances and 6 tackles and rebound 50s and inside 50s and everything. You name it, Mon's a superstar. The best player in the competition is Mon Conti. Liv Purcell was awesome, 32 disposals, 2 goals. Her and Tyler Hanks, who's on the bench, were simply amazing, 3 goals and 60 disposals between them. They were just simply amazing. And the Bulldogs midfield got absolutely embarrassed by Tyler Hanks and Liv Purcell. They were simply amazing. Hayley Miller kicked 3 goals, playing up forward this year, it seems, a bit more than previous years. Eliza West was simply amazing with 25 disposals and 8 clearances. Eliza West does. Michaela Bowen had 27 disposals, playing mainly on the wing. Bowie, she was great for Geelong and their loss to North Melbourne. And T. Smith for the Saints, 26 disposals. Her grunt work, her pressure, her tackling has always been her strong suit. So underrated is T. Smith. So underrated. Jamie Lambert's a bull in the midfield. Patrikios gets talked about a lot. The new recruits are now finally starting to get some love that they didn't get at their previous clubs. But T. Smith just flies under the radar, just like Ash Richards. T. Smith's a superstar already. Just won the BNF before, so this should not be a surprise. Havana Harris on debut was awesome. 1 goal, 18 disposals, 10 hit-outs. I really wanted to put her in, but damn, it was so hard this week. And that was on debut. Kiara Bowers, you could say it was stiff as well. 13 tackles, 22 disposals on return after being pregnant last season. She is a star, always was a star, and is continuing to be a star after having a year off. Emma O'Driscoll, very stiff not to make it, about 16 disposals and about 11 intercepts. Very, very harsh, I know. 8 intercepts, sorry, but very close. Ebony Marinoff had 29 disposals. She was very good. Wasn't her best game, but she was still good. Britt Benici was awesome. 28 disposals, about 11 clearances. She was awesome. I really wanted to put her in, but who the hell can I put her in for? And player I wanted to put in the team of the week, but there were so many strong performers in the end. But Maggie Marnie from Melbourne on debut, she was really, really impressive, was Maggie. About 14 disposals, just her attack on the footy, her pressure, her tackling, her quick hands out of the pack and everything, and kick out of the packs. It was very good. For her first game, I saw Melbourne's Intra Club about a month ago, and she stood out in the back half of that game. It was a 6-quarter game. In the back half of that game, she was really important, along with Eliza McNamara and Kate Hoare in that particular Intra Club. But, really impactful. Really, really good. And earned a spot in round 1. Has absolutely taken it. Just wanted to give her a good shout out there. She was very good. Now, comment down below your thoughts on my team of the week. I know there's some other players I could have put in, but unfortunately, we cannot fit everyone into 23 spots. But here we are. Right, now, let's go review the round 1 game, shall we? So the first game was at Icon Park. Carlton 45, Collingwood 21. Blues by 24 points. Sabrina Frederick got the first goal of the game. Alana Porter got a nice goal as well. They kicked 2 of the first goals of the game. Carlton got a goal, and then, it was all she wrote in the back half of the game. Ash Centra got a goal in the third quarter, got the crowd up and about. But unfortunately, Carlton just won. Poppy Schultz kicked a debut goal not long after that from a 50-metre penalty. Poppy Schultz. Is it move over Matilda? We've got a new Schultz in town. It's Poppy Schultz. I said that in my matchday vlog when she kicked that goal. Go watch that video as well if you haven't already. Along with the Geelong North and Saints Crows one, I would greatly appreciate it. She was really good, Poppy Schultz, in the back line. About 10 disposals that goal. And just played really well and impactful. And it was great to see Harriet Corner played her part as well at times. Maddie Hendry. Someone who I saw in the VFLW a few times do really well. And that VFLW form has transitioned to AFLW form for Maddie Hendry as a key defender, not as a ruck. So that's something that the Blues should persist with if Maddie Hendry's a backman. And she had about 8 intercept possessions as well. Sorry, 1%ers. So Maddie Hendry did really well. Mimi Hill was good. Abby McKay is a captain. Sophie McKay has some nice moments. That's also in my matchday vlog, which she took a good run through the middle. I think it was a good courageous mark as well, or attack on the footy. It was really good from Soph. You know, Ash Santra had that big moment in the third quarter. Great contested mark, great goal. One of many. Ash Santra is a superstar already, and she will continue to be. But one thing I want to say is look at the three players that are at the top of the draft that went to the Victorian clubs and compare them to the ones that went interstate. So Ash Santra, Molly O'Hare, and Sophie McKay. People just need to, I know I've just pumped them up because there are superstars, but people really, really need to relax a little bit. Don't put so much pressure on those three in particular. Soph, Ash, and Molly are the future of the AFLW competition, and they are going to be so damn exciting to watch as an AFLW fan, and if you're a person who has them in your club that you support. But people need to relax with the comparisons. Don't put so much pressure on them that they don't need. And this is probably why some players go to interstate clubs where the popularity in terms of the team they're at isn't as high. Look at Zippy Fish and Lucia Painter. They went interstate to Sydney and West Coast. They were both the best two rookies for the round. Ash and Molly and Soph had good moments. But the ultimate pressure, those three in particular, are going to keep getting every week, is just a bit harsh that they get this pressure. Yes, they're at Carlton, Collingwood, and Melbourne, some of the big clubs in the AFLW, in terms of popularity and everything like that. Those clubs are. But people need to cool their jets. Those three are the future of the AFLW competition, but people really need to stop putting so much pressure on them. The pressure hasn't gone to Zippy Fish or Lucia Painter, because they're at West Coast and Sydney, and they were the best two rookies for the round. And you can add Havana Harris, who plays for Gold Coast, who was the other top 3 pick from this year's draft, or top 5, and she was amazing. You know, Sarah Pousty and Emma McDonald had moments, but were probably not handling that pressure because all the hype they've been getting, and they are superstars as well. But people need to cool the jets. The best performed rookies this round were the ones at the interstate clubs, whether they're in the top 5 of the draft or elsewhere in the draft. They were the ones that probably performed the most because they got little to no pressure on them because of the club and state they're based in. Poor Molly and Ash and Soph and Emma and Sarah are in the big land of footy in Melbourne, in Victoria. The pressure's on them. Everyone's expecting them to do great, and they are going to be great. They are already great, and they will forever be great. But the pressure on them, I could just imagine how they're feeling. The amount of pressure they'll all be feeling. You know, for Soph, well, you know, they won on the weekend, so, you know, that doesn't happen. But, you know, Molly and Ash and Sarah and Emma, it's got to get put through a lot of pressure. And people just need to cool their jets. For the amount of disposals they had, they all shown why they are top 5, top 10 picks. But people need to cool their jets. You know, Emma McDonald has a nice pack mark once or twice in the game. Molly O'Hare showed a dash off the half-back line and wing and hitting targets from 50 metres away and shows how talented she is. Sarah Pousey in and under mid got some nice kicks and tackles in there. Ash had that nice goal, a great contested mark, and some other nice things around the ground, a few other tackles here and there. You know, and she's also carrying an injury into round 1. She didn't play any practice matches. From the injury list, that she didn't play the last month or train most of the last month before the weekend's game or leading into round 1. You know, so just call your jets. Ash, Zippy, Lucia, Molly, Soph, Sarah, Emma, and everyone in that top 10 are going to be so damn exciting to watch. But please just call your jets. Mimi Hill, Keely Shea, Maddie Hendry, Tara Bahana had some nice moments for Carlton. For Collingwood, it was Imogen Barnett and Britt Benici mainly that did very, very well. The next game, West Coast 35, Gold Coast 20, Eagles by 15 points. Damn, how good were the Eagles? Gold Coast, they're struggling with injuries. Oh, yeah. Before I forget, congratulations to every single player who made their debut on the weekend. There was so many. I've made an Instagram story about them all. You all know who they are by now because they all played on the weekend. For AFLW debutantes, from Ash Santra to Zippy Fish to Molly O'Hare to Lucia Painter, to Sarah Howley, to Emma McDonald, to Sarah Pousty. Everyone that debuted on the weekend. Well done. Congratulations, and hopefully many more to come. But yeah, West Coast, how good were they? Ella Roberts, Ali Drennan, who an unsung hero, not really being talked about because Lucia Painter and everyone else is getting all the credit, and rightfully so. But, you know, Belle Lewis, co-captain of Charlie Thomas. Charlie Thomas. How amazing was Charlie Thomas on the weekend? Oh, damn it. I just realised I didn't have Charlie Thomas in my team of the week. That is a big mistake. I've got to fix that. We'll be back in just a second. So there is Charlie Thomas in the team of the week. Elizabeth Georgia-Stas has unfortunately come out of the side, but she was still amazing. Charlie Thomas, though, like 17 disposals, like 9 intercepts, like 6 1%ers, her intercept marking, her intercept possessions. Charlie Thomas is a star. She's the best key defender in the game. It's obvious that she is so damn good. The Eagles have got the best utility in Ella Roberts and the best key defender in Charlie Thomas, and one of the best young players in the competition from this year's draft in Lucia Painter. I said in my intro video, will Lucia Painter and the Eagles be painting their name as the premier in 2025? Well, they started well. I know it's Gold Coast, so we can call the Jets there, I guess. Gold Coast are injury depleted. Congratulations to everyone who made their debut. So for the Suns, it was Nyali Milne, Mia Salisbury, Taylor Gregory, Havana Harris, obviously, as well. I hope I'm not forgetting one. I think there was 5 debutants for the Suns, but well on to all 5. For West Coast, Lucia Painter, Kayla Dalgleish as well. Yeah, well on to everyone who debuted in the round. I don't want to mention more names because I'll forget. But the Eagles were great. Drennan, Thomas, Roberts, Painter. Liz McGrath had 22 hitouts in her club debut. For Gold Coast, it was Charlie Rowbottom and Havana Harris, who were their best 2 players. Next game was Sydney 58, Richmond 38. Swans by 20 points. The Tigers started okay, but the Swans in the third quarter, Chloe Malloy kicked 4. Cynthia Hamilton kicked one of the goals of the year. She was just simply phenomenal. Cynthia Hamilton. There's a lot of good players for the Swans. Darcy Maloney kicked her first ever goal for the Swans, coming across from Geelong. So well on to Darce. Richmond was Mon Conti, Ellie McKenzie, Caitlin Greiser, the G train did really well. Rebecca Miller kicked 2 goals, her first 2 goals in her career. The key defender went forward late, did really well. But for Richmond, there was that patch where Sydney went bang, 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 and that was all she wrote, unfortunately, for the Tigers. It's still Tiger time. The Swans are still going to be good as well. So it was 2 good sides, and unfortunately one had to lose, unless they wanted to draw, of course. The next game were the Saturday games. Geelong 21, Kangaroos 51, Kangaroos by 30 points. The Roos were really good in the last quarter. When it rained, it was pouring rain, it was pouring goals. Shearlaw, O'Loughlin, Blaheem Bogue, who kicked 2 goals in her AFLW debut, so on to Blaheem. Vicky Wall hasn't been playing yet. Emma Carney isn't playing yet. They're 2 players to come back to the side. Eliza Shannon in the back line was really good. Someone who missed last year's grand final. Obviously, Emma Carney's out, so I'm sure that'll be her replacement when she comes back. But Eliza Shannon's making it tough for Darren Crocker and the coaching crew at the Roos to say, hey, I missed out on last year and I want to stay in here. So some interesting selection dilemma for Croc and the Roos. Ruby Tripodi played really well in the midfield. Taylor Gatt on the wing was amazing. Mia King did a nice goal. Her first goal in 3 years. It's great to see for Mia. Sheila in the forward line was amazing. Alice O'Loughlin was really good. Gave away 7 frees, and 5 of them weren't there. Absolutely ridiculous. But here we are. But Alice was amazing. And the Roos were Ali Sheeran of the half back line made well for her Roos debut. She played really well for her Roos debut. Geelong was Bowie with 27. Ali Friswell started well. But Gunjaka and Webster had some moments as well, along with Julie Crockett-Grills. Ashling Maloney was a bit quieter than normal, but had some okay moments as well. But the Cats had ultra amount of opportunities in the third quarter. Georgie Pasparkas missed one completely. Maloney kicked one out in the full. Another player kicked one out in the full. So it was 2 out in the fulls and a shank across goal that never scored from. So Geelong have no one to blame but themselves. They had a lot of free kicks and some of them were there. I'm not going to lie. But they had their own chances and they blew it and the Roos took advantage of it. If you give the Roos a damn chance at getting in front, they will take it and you won't get it back. And Geelong did not capitalise and the Roos pounced on it and they won and won easily in the last quarter in the rain. When it was raining, when it was pouring rain, it was also pouring goals. Kanga, 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 Roo, Roo, Roo. And are they winning the premiership again and going to be the Roos are going to be the premiers in 2025? Question mark. We'll wait and see. GWS, Essendon. GWS are going to be beside the struggles. 29 to Essendon 85. Essendon by 56 points. Look, they were amazing, the Bombers. But it's only the Giants who are depleted with injuries, limited players to choose from, players playing out of position, players being forced to play another role, players that are injured or not injured, but like coming back from injury that have been rushed into a position because they got no other players available. They had a list spot open, so I don't know why they didn't use it. They've now got another list spot open, but you can't bring in replacement players. You can have train-ons. You have to have like 27 fit players. No, you have to have 7 players unavailable on the injury list before you can use your top-up players. Now, how the top-up players work is interesting. It'll probably be the train-on players that each club have. But it's very interesting. But, you know, the Giants, at least Parker had 15 disposals in the first half before she's now, unfortunately, out for the year. We wish her all the best. Zali Goldsworthy was put into the midfield in the last half of the game, and she dominated. Keep her in the midfield, Cam. Zali's a star. A top 10 star of this competition. Absolutely. You know, O'Dowd and Cos were the rucks this week. I think O'Dowd needs to be the solo ruck and play more time, but I guess she won a premiership in Ireland only a couple of weeks ago, so I guess they're easing her into it. But yeah, she will do well in the long run, though, Alicia O'Dowd. For the Bombers, Chloe Adams was great up forward with 17. Bonnie Tuchel kicked a couple of goals. Was a bit quiet, but coming back from a long-term injury as well. You know, Grace Bologna on debut, she was amazing, kicking a goal. Holly Ridewood kicked 2 goals on debut as well. Grace Bologna is a contender for the Rising Star for a reason, and she showed that in Canberra. The Giants were pretty bad. And Essendon, I wouldn't say top 4, might not even say top 8. Do that against someone else, like the Eagles on the weekend, and we will start talking. And speaking of the Eagles, well, they won and the Bulldogs lost. Bad. 14 to 62. Melbourne by 48 points. I don't know why people are surprised with this result. Melbourne will make finals this year. You can guarantee, you can bookmark, you can lock it in. The Western Bulldogs will not. It's as simple as that. The commentators were talking about the disconnection up forward. The forward line is just non-existent at the moment. The connection piece isn't there. Louise Stevenson, I thought, our forward done okay. Heidi Woodley kicked a goal, and their only goal did all right. Sarah Hardwick had a 50th game. Georgia Stathis on the back line was really good. But Ellie Blackburn's come back from a long-term injury as well. But, you know, the forward line, you know, McDonald hasn't played with anyone before. But Woodley and Hartwick, Louise Stevenson's came across from Hawthorn, who I thought done all right anyway. You know, chemistry's not there, but that's no excuse because every team's got new players, so there's no excuse there. I think that's a cop-out excuse. I'm sure Tam's not happy with how they went. I wouldn't be happy with that. You know, we had a bit of a patch in the first quarter where you looked okay and you didn't capitalise from it. So that's on the players more than anything. But Melbourne is so good. Shelley Heath, Eliza McNamara, you know, Maggie Mahoney, Alicia Pisano done well as well. A lot of good players for the Demons and for the Bulldogs, outside of Georgia Stathis and maybe Stevenson and to a degree Powersty, outside of that and Georgia Stathis, they didn't really have many other major contributors, which is disappointing for them. Now, Sunday games, Brisbane 29, Hawthorn 33, Hawthorn by 4 points. Wow, the Hawks. Anya Madonna, No disposals in the first quarter. They finished with like 12 for the game. She did really well in the end. She's my AFLW fantasy team as well, is Anya Madonna. There you go. There's a sneak preview for the team reveal shortly. She was good in the second half of the game. You know, it is what it is. She did all right. Eliza West, Casey Sheriff were really good. Jazz Fleming was out. Hopefully she's not out for long. She's a great player on the wing, is Jazz Fleming for the Hawks. Jade Allinger and Lily Postlethwaite were some of the Brisbane Lions' better players, along with their skipper, Bree Kernan, who played mainly mid, and that's a new role for her this year, who is also in my AFLW fantasy team. Sophie Conway was well held, only like 12 fantasy points, so she had like 3 or 4 disposals, so really disappointing and very, different for Soph. Always getting about 20 touches and a goal or two here and there most weeks. That's really quiet for Soph Conway, a really good player who I had in my top 30 as well. Really rate Soph Conway as a player, But yeah, Brisbane weren't that good, but hey, they weren't that good and they almost won. So shows how good they are. Hawthorn will be happy they got the win, and an important win if they want to go deep into finals and even make finals. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, how I want to be with St Kilda. Oh, when the Saints go marching in. Oh, how good was that, Saints fans? 41-19 against the Crows. Yes, against the Crows, ladies and gentlemen. How damn good were those Saints? Against the Crows. Zoe Bazanko, Molly McDonald, goals early. Amber Clark, Zoe Bazanko again. Hannah Priest got the last goal on the siren. Ash Richards. We were awesome. Baskaran was amazing on the wing, 19 disposals I mentioned earlier. Amber Clark up forward and a bit of mid. Her run, her tackling pressure was awesome. Paige Trudgeon and Serene Watson in the backline, amazing. Stevens as well was good in the backline as well for the Saints. It's just great to see. Up and about. To convincingly beat the Crows is something you can't just gloss over. Del Santo's got a great team assembled this year. You got Patrikios in the midfield, T. Smith, Jamie Lambert, Jessie Warlaw up forward, Molly McDonald on the wing, Darcy Guttridge, Charlotte Baskaran. And we still got Liv Vesely to come back, and Xenos as well. 2 players that we haven't seen much of last year. Well, Xenos didn't at all through injury. Patrikios, first game in over a year, had 26 touches. T. Smith had 26 touches. Jamie Lambert did her usual best. Awesome. And here is the song, Saints fans. Go Saints! I must say Berkey was really good in the back line, keeping her opponent goals as well. So well on Berkey. But yeah, great win. Marinoff was Adelaide's best player. I thought the Allen sisters had some good moments in the ruck and in the back line. But outside of that, I don't think there was any major standouts for the Crows. Maddie Newman, I thought actually was really good. Tia Charlton had some nice moments as well. But yeah, overall, the Saints just destroyed the Crows. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But I have faith in the Saints with Baskaran and Clark into the team with Patrikios back, with T. Smith having some help with the midfield now. Ash Richards and Jessie Warlaw have some help up in the forward line now. Xenos will be back from injury soon in the forward line in the next part of the season, in the second half of the year, like 6 weeks away. So all things going well. We've got Melbourne this week, so another tough task in Casey of all bloody places. Damn Casey. Games should be banned from Casey. Frankston and Casey games venues should not be used for AFLW or VFLW or AFL. Those grounds should be banned. Those grounds and the area it's in is a nightmare to get to, and a long, long time. And no trains around Casey. It was just disgraceful. But yeah, the Saints were awesome. Absolutely awesome. And I'm so damn happy with how they went. Back it up against Melbourne. We might be talking flag Saints if we beat Melbourne as well in Casey. But we'll see. Flag Saints, we'll have to wait and see. The last game, Port Adelaide and Freo. Port Adelaide didn't do too well in the second half. Freo did well, 24-46. Freo by 22 points. Haley Miller kicked 3, and Stannett, the skipper, kicked 2. Emma Rojuska was really good in the backline, along with debutante Indy Strom, the sister of Mim Strom. Indy was awesome, so was Mim Strong in the ruck. Mim was good. Kiara Bowers back from pregnancy was awesome for the Dockers. Gabby Newton was really good as well in the midfield and backline. So, yeah, the Dockers are really good for Port Adelaide. You know, Ella Hetz was well held, played wing and a key defender. They lost Emily Borg to an injury. Hopefully she's back soon and plays as early as this week. But yeah, overall, I don't think Port Adelaide were really that good. They were pretty average, and they'll be disappointed with how they went. Congratulations to Gemma Houghton, who played Game 75, which is an achievement that we must not gloss over. Gemma's been a pioneer for the AFLW competition. 75 games, played 49, I think it was, at Freo, 26 now at Port Adelaide. An absolute great player in that forward line for the Power, a leader in that team as a whole. You know, when you got young players in that side, you need experienced players, and Gemma is a good leader and a good player for the Power. So well done to Gemma Houghton on that good milestone. 75 games, fantastic. Now, Mon Conti has a milestone game this week as well with 75 games. You're talking about, you know, a superstar of the competition. Mon Conti is absolutely that. A lot of players will have 25-game milestones and 50-game milestones in the last few weeks. Oh, they did this weekend and some coming up. But yeah, now let's go preview the round 2 games. But before we do that, my AFLW fantasy score, I scored 1,258, ranking 2,529. Now you're probably asking, what's a good score in AFLW fantasy? I thought I had a pretty decent week. Had a few players score low and had some amazing scores. So I would say that you have to get at least 1,100 every week. Otherwise, you're doing pretty bad. Now, in my team, I'm only 150 away from the highest placed winner of the round. So that's what I mean. I did pretty well when you think about it. So like 150 points off. Someone got like 1,400. So 1,410 or something like that. So, you know, I wasn't that far off that if you think about it. I had Zippy Fish on the bench who got 97. If I had her on the field in place of Ash Santra, I would have got 75 more points, which would have got me like 1,340. So we're close to it. You know, a few rookie moves that I did that I wanted to do something else and I didn't do. I had other players instead of other players coming in. That cost me another 10, 20 points here and there. But it is what it is. Ella Head's only got like 40 when she should be getting 80. You had another 40 points. I'm at the top of the round score. So there's a few little moves and I would have won the round or been up there at least. Very, very close. So my team from the back line is Charlie Thomas, Ella Heads, Bree Conan, Erica O'Shea, and and Jess Wrench, who did really well for the Eagles. My bench player in the back line is Indy Strom. My midfield is Ebony Marinoff, Mon Conti, Ella Roberts, Eliza McNamara, and Ash Sentra. On the bench is Zippy Fish. In my forward line, it's Alice O'Loughlin, it's Anya Madonna. Who else? I've got Amber Clark in there from the Saints. I know that. Let me have a look. Montana Hammond, Bonnie Toogood, and my bench player is Bridie O'Rourke. My utility is Sophie McKay, and my ruck bench is Piper Dunlop, and Mim Strom is on my field. Now, some advice I'll give you all. I'm not going to give you names of who you should get. I know who I'll be wanting to get in my team. You should capitalize on the rookies. Forget about your premium players that do well and you go like, oh, they're going to go up. Focus on your rookies. You want a good season? You focus on your rookies. I ain't going to give you names, but go look at names that you should bring in. If you don't get them now, they may have already gone up so much because the prices change every round. So more the reason to cash in on the rookies right now. If you don't get any rookie that dominated on the weekend that you don't already have, you are going to be terrible this year in fantasy. It's as simple as that. You can connect the dots on what players I'm talking about to bring in, but you can figure that out for yourself. And prioritize rookies over premiums in terms of bringing in this week and probably next week. Next week, I understand it a little bit, but this week in particular, focus on your rookies coming in, not premiums going in or out. That's all I'll say. So I'm really happy with how I went. Really happy. Now let's preview the round 2 games to wrap us up this evening. So, right. So we start Friday night. No, not Friday night. Saturday, 1:05 at Vic Park. Collingwood and the Giants. I'll be tipping Collingwood in this one by 15 points. But don't write off the Giants. 3:05 p.m. at Casey Fields. It's the Saints and Melbourne. Melbourne are obviously the home team. How people are tipping Melbourne over St Kilda is interesting. But then again, Melbourne did have a big win, but it was the Bulldogs. St Kilda beat Adelaide and convincingly. But yeah, Melbourne could still win this. I'm going to tip the Saints. I didn't tip the Saints last week, but now I am. But I still think Melbourne will probably win. But I'm going to tip the Saints this time. Have the faith in the Saints. So the Saints by 1 point. 3:05 at People's First Stadium. It's Gold Coast hosting Sydney at 3:05 p.m. Victorian time. I'll be tipping Sydney in this one by 50 points. 50 points. 15 points. And we'll see what happens there. 5:05 p.m. at Fremantle Community Bank Oval, which is South Freo's ground, I believe. 5:05 p.m. Victorian time. 3:05 p.m. Firth. Never even heard of that. Perth. Freo in Brisbane. I'll be tipping Brisbane in this one by 5 points. 7:15 in Frankston. It is Hawthorn and Carlton. I'll be tipping Hawthorn in this one by 12 points. Saturday, 12:35 p.m. at Icon Park, which is Richmond's home ground for this season as their ground has been demolished. Well, the grandstand was. Richmond and Bulldogs. I'll be tipping Richmond in this one definitely by 15 points at least. 1:05 p.m. at Icon Park. At Arden Street. 1:05 p.m. at Arden Street. North Melbourne hosting the Power. I'll be tipping North Melbourne in this one by 15 points. Sorry, not 15. 18 points. 18 points. 2:35 p.m. at Windy Hill. It'll probably be windy there. 2:35 p.m. Victorian time. It's Essendon hosting the Eagles. I'll be tipping the Eagles in this one in this close, thrilling contest by 5 points. And the last game to end round 2 is Adelaide and Geelong. 3:05 p.m. Victorian time at Thomas Farms Oval in Adelaide. It's Adelaide and Geelong. I'll be tipping Adelaide in this one to bounce back and win by 5 points. They will be absolutely mad that the Saints beat them really, really easily. Now, my final thoughts are simply this. If you want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/Cooper G. You want me to roast a friend, with someone happy birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players, any up-and-coming draftees, or any State League players, and you want to see them on the channel in a Golking Challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and we'll try and get something sorted. Thank you all for watching this week's episode of the Scoops AFLW show. Can't wait to show you more content throughout the rest of the season. And yeah, thank you and go Saints!